You've seen the highlights, you've heard the hype, but what's it really like to coach baseball's top prospect and a roster stacked with breakout bats? Today we go inside the cage with Double-A hitting coach Scott Seabol.
You are Locked On Pirates, your daily Pittsburgh Pirates podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
I'm Gary Morgan, former editor at SteelCityPirates.com, covering the Pirates since 6 years now. And I followed more prospects from low A to retirement than I care to mention because I'm getting old. Big thanks to all you for tuning in, especially you everydayers out there for making Locked On Pirates your first listen on the #1 sports podcast network in all the land. Today, we're going to be talking to Altoona Curve hitting coach Scott Seabol about what it's like coaching Konnor Griffin, Termarr Johnson, Esmerlyn Valdez, and more. Plus, we're going to dig into how hitting philosophies actually work in the Pirates system. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. If you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. Joining me now is Altoona Curve hitting coach Scott Seabol, McKeesport native, former big leaguer with the Yankees and Cardinals, and a guy who is shaping the next wave of Pirates hitters. Scott, welcome.
Hey, Gary, how you doing?
Doing really good, man. I'm just excited to pepper you with questions. I mean, hitting coaching, I think, is a confusing prospect for a lot of fans. You know, I think we blame them for everything and never give them credit for the other things that work out. And I just kind of want to pepper you with questions today, man. We've done dives into your trip to the game before, and maybe we'll do that again someday. But today I really wanted to just talk about what you did last year, especially.
Sounds good.
When the MLB club makes a change in hitting coaches, like towards the top level, we as fans, I think, assume that there's an overarching philosophy that kind of trickles down through the depths of the minor league system. How does that work? Like, how does that network actually reach you? Is there a real change in direction on anything, or is it?
I mean, to be honest, yeah, that's kind of exactly how it works. When the new staff comes into the big league level, I know he spent a lot of time with our hitting coordinator, Johnson, and they basically just talk for months right now while we're all home, and they kind of lay it all out for each other, and you definitely get that trickle down. The major league hitting coach wants a certain thing, coordinator accepts it, understands it, and then it kind of falls down to each hitting level, and then we put on the players. It's very similar to if you were to think about like a varsity basketball team and a junior high basketball team and a 7th, 8th grade basketball team. You kind of want to do what the varsity guy's doing. So there's a smoother transition. So it definitely, the changing of a major league hitting coach definitely changes the organization's philosophy a little bit. I mean, typically you hire a guy that you shouldn't be that far from. It shouldn't be that far from the last guy. So there is definitely a change, but that's how it works. It's a trickle down effect.
I mean, if you're having success with a player doing one thing, and I don't know why this would be the case, but something in the ethos is counter to what this kid has been succeeding with, you're not forced to like change that, are you? I mean, like you let the kid do what he's good at, right?
Absolutely not. No, if a player's doing well, I mean, one of the philosophies we have is let the kids be athletic. I mean, we draft athletes, we let them be athletic. We kind of like the game to teach them, because the game is always teaching you. Are you listening? Are you learning? And most of the good ones are learning and listening. And our job is basically just to kind of like keep them on the rails as they come through our level, and then ship them off to the next level, and then that hitting coach's job is just to keep them on the rails till they get to the big leagues. But 99% of the time, there's no major overhaul. That happens more at the rookie level.
Right.
You might draft some super athletic kids who don't have a lot of experience with baseball per se, and there's a lot more wiggle room there to actually change. But once players, you get a 4-year player out of the SEC, out of Vanderbilt or Auburn, Ole Miss. These kids should not need much in the way of changing as far as mechanical wise. We just fine tune them and to the affiliates or to the organization's liking, and then ship them on up.
So we hear the buzzword hitting philosophy all the time. Yeah. Like, do you guys laugh about that? Is that a real thing? Do you have a hitting philosophy?
We do.
Yeah.
Everybody has one. If I was going to give you a real generic industry philosophy of hitting, it's basically swing at the right pitches and hit them hard. That's pretty much all major league teams across the board. That's pretty much a very generic philosophy for all of them. Now within that, there's other things, but we would be on the show for a lot longer than half an hour. But
that's true.
Yeah. We definitely have what we like, what's important to us. And to me, that's when you get into the numbers parts of the game. I don't really use that with the player. I use that as an evaluation for myself. I'll give you an example. If I have a player that comes to me from high A and he has a high chase rate, I don't think it's very beneficial to tell this kid, hey, you have a bad chase rate. Make it better. My job is to understand that he has a bad chase rate. What can I do to fix that without him actually thinking about chasing?
Would you say it's easier to fix a bad chase rate or a bad whiff rate in zone?
No question about it. I think if a player misses in zone, especially the fastball in zone, I have a tough time fixing that. Right. That's a really, really hard one to fix. If you give me a kid with a 38 to 45% chase rate, I feel like I could make it better. Now, he's not going to be a 15, 20%, but I could make it better.
Yeah, I guess I wonder sometimes if you're given something to chisel, and you don't have to give me any examples. I wouldn't even want you to if you could. But you get a piece of clay, sometimes you just don't feel as moldable. Like it's just not going to happen. The edges aren't going to come off.
Sure that happens. I mean, we deal with a lot of players every year, and over the course of years, there's always players that got drafted for whatever reason. That maybe they were 6'4", 215, and they ran fast, or maybe they threw the ball really hard. And my job is to see if I can somehow make this kid hit. Right. It doesn't always work, but you get 27. I'm so old now, I can't remember how many rounds do we have now. 20 rounds, 30 rounds.
It changes all the time.
It changes.
Change again next year, so who cares if we're right or not, right?
Yes. You get 20 players, and usually those last 5 are, or at least in my opinion, those last 5 should be good bodies, good major league tool of some sort. Right. Whether he has power, whether he runs fast, whether he throws hard, he should have one of those. And a lot of times the hit tool is not one of them. So that's where they come to me and say, is there any way you can get this guy to hit? And then you give it a shot. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But
so last year you moved from the A level up to the AA level. So I guess one thing I wanted to ask you, because that doesn't happen a lot in the minor leagues, I feel. That's you're usually changing organizations, I feel, to move up. And you moved up here, and what was it like reuniting with some players that you had gotten to coach like the year before? Like, what was it like walking into some familiarity for once, right?
That was awesome. It was awesome to have some of those kids in low A last year, and then by the end of the year having them double A. I mean, that's just, I know the Pirates. I've been in Pittsburgh my whole life. I know the history of the Pirates, and I know our recent history, and I know that there's not a lot of faith in the organization, but when I saw that last year, I realized there's a lot of good players here. There's a lot of good talent in the organization. I've coached in some different organizations where guys were more highly touted that couldn't make that jump. And to see, I think we had Alfonso, we had Rivas, we had Valdez, we had Gourson. I mean, we had Berg. We had 5 guys from that low A ball team helping us in the playoffs in Altoona. Not even just AA guys. These guys were starting for us, helping us in the playoffs. So it was fantastic. It was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I ended up coming out to a pretty late season game in Altoona to see Griffin's debut, actually. And yeah, the team was definitely a lot of fun this year. And we'll get into some of those individual players here when we get into segment 2. What was the difference, you would say, from coaching the low A to double A? I mean, it's a different experience level, obviously. So is it change you as a coach, or do you feel like there's just some things you don't have to worry about on the boxes to check?
Well, it's a big jump for the players and for the coaches. There's a lot of things I would do in low A that I would never do in double A. There's a lot more teaching just about the game, being a professional, how to approach an at bat. There's an art to it. But double A guys, it's more about approach, understanding the pitcher. We have kind of a checklist, a major league ready checklist of where we should be as a player per level. Obviously, once you get double A, you should have a pretty good feeling about what you want to do physically. You should be able to hit a fastball. You should know how to get on time. My job is to help them learn how to dissect the pitchers, understand his tendencies, how he's trying to get you out. And then you attack it. And then if there's a problem there, we could talk about it. Whereas in A ball in Bradenton, I introduced game planning, but it was more about, can we be on time with the fastball? Because if you can't hit a fastball, you can't play in the major leagues. I mean, especially the National League, especially the National League East. I mean, you have the Phillies and all. You got some guys who can throw the ball, and if you can't hit a fastball, you're not going to play in our division. So
this is fascinating for me because I'm going to follow up again. I promised I wouldn't, but I'm going to follow up on this one more time. So when we observe numbers from like the low A guys, and one of the things that you'll hear about a guy is, well, he's really hammering the fastball, but he struggles with the curve. Is it fair to say that at that level, you as a hitting coach, not that you're not worried about that aspect of his game, but that's not your focus at that point?
Yeah, I'm speaking for myself here, not the industry. I love it. If we can hammer a plus fastball, meaning 95 or above, if we can do that, you got a chance. Learning how to hit spin, learning how not to chase spin. I think the game teaches you that over time. But I can't teach you how to hit 97. I mean, right. if God has given you the ability to do that, then you're one step ahead of the game.
Love it, man. All right, let's talk players after we come back from this break. Termarr, Valdez, Griffin, just some names we just have to talk about. Fridays always feel different during basketball season, and FanDuel is making them even better. Every Friday night before the games tip off, FanDuel gives new fans a way to kick off the weekend with NBA Happy Hour. NBA Happy Hour is your official pregame, a limited time window where special offers drop right inside the FanDuel app before the action starts. Fridays from 6 to 7:30 Eastern have become appointment viewing with NBA Happy Hour. Opening the FanDuel app during Happy Hour always brings something new. Boosts, bonuses, and surprises. It adds extra energy on Friday night basketball without overthinking it. So before tip-off, check the FanDuel app and see what's dropping during NBA Happy Hour every Friday from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern. A little basketball, a little action, and a whole lot of Friday energy. That's NBA Happy Hour only on FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NBA. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Locked On Pirates. Let's jump right back in with our guest, Scott Seabol. So grateful to have his time here to talk about some of these players. It's different to see it from the dugout than it is from the stands or TV, I promise you. And just to be able to hear the insights that get shared here is important. Termarr Johnson's the first one I wanted to talk about here, Scott, because I think, at least just my layman's eyes, I felt like he took a step this year. Did you feel that way too? I really felt like he came on in the second half, especially.
I do. I feel like he grew up as a baseball player this year. The one thing about Termarr is he can control the zone very well, and that's one of the things that plays at every level. He knows the zone. He knows what he wants to hit. He can hit a fastball. So there's a couple of good positives there, but he definitely matured as a hitter as the year went on, which is one of the things you want to see from a player that's been in the level before.
Right. I mean, I would expect him to probably start in AAA this year. I mean, it feels like he's graduated. I'm not going to predict it, but feels that he's on that path. Esmerlyn Valdez is another guy. Now, Esmerlyn, I don't know how closely you were following him in the system before you ended up coaching him, but this dude was on social media telling the world what was going to happen this year. And boom, did he ever do it? He just flew through this system, Scott.
Yeah,
I mean, what can you say?
I didn't hear about the social media thing, but I want to start this off by saying I love that kid. I love that.
Right?
He's awesome. He's a pleasure and a joy to coach every single day. He always has a smile on his face. One thing before I get into him, we're in the playoffs, and he was trying to move runners, hit sack. This kid wants to win. I mean, he didn't care about a home run or this. He wanted to do whatever it took to help us win in the playoffs this year. He's just a joy to coach. But as far as talent level goes, and this kid got some serious power. And he can hit a breaking ball. If he has one weakness, it's probably the elevated plus fastball,
right?
Which a lot of guys have. I mean, that's a tough pitch to hit.
Fortunately, yeah.
Yeah. So, he really learned at the Double A level. It took him about 2 weeks. I think high A to Double A is a big jump. The pitchers have a little more command. They can execute their plan a little more than the lower levels, and they're executing against them, and it took them a minute to figure it out. But as he keeps getting smarter and learning, and the talent's there, man, this guy hit a ball a long ways. He hit it a long ways.
I mean, some of the things he was doing in the AFL, granted the thin air out there, but impressive. I mean, we're talking O'Neal Cruz type exit velocity.
Yeah,
right?
like I tell everybody, I mean, he may be in the thin air, but not everybody's doing it, you know.
No. Yeah,
so,
definitely impressive.
Yeah.
Hey, the star of the show, Konnor Griffin. Now, you didn't get all year with him, but you got part of the year with him. What was it like? I mean, it's the number one prospect in all of the game. I mean, I would love. Have you had that before?
Oh no. I would love to have a full year with him. I mean, he when you talk about a coachable player, a respectful kid, I mean, he checks all the boxes, man. I mean, he's 19 years old. He's 6'4". He's 220 pounds. He's the fastest guy in the field. He's the smartest guy in the field. He's the most respectful guy in the field. I mean, he is the epitome of a number one draft pick high school kid. I mean, he was fantastic. Quick story about Konnor. I think most of your viewers know that he was an outfielder as well. He played center field.
Sure.
And he played shortstop for us now. We had a player in September had to go home for a family reason. So he was a center fielder. So we said to Konnor, would you mind playing center field for 3 days? Of course he would. He'd do anything for us.
Yeah.
So he played center field, and he hasn't played center field in 6 weeks. In the first game, he made 2 plays that I've never seen before. and I don't think anybody else can. He made a play off. If you guys have ever been to Erie, left center field's kind of funky. It kind of shoots over, goes back, and cuts back across, kind of like PNC Park a little bit, I guess. Made a play off the wall, made a catch. Then a ball that I never thought he'd get to. The next play, there's a runner on first base, left-handed hitter, meaning that Konnor shifted to the right center field gap a little bit, pull side.
Yeah.
Hits a line drive over the shortstop's head. Comes out of nowhere, slides on one knee, backhands the ball, all in one motion, comes up, fires the ball second base. The runner from first base did not even get to third. It was unbelievable. I thought for sure it was an RBI double. We're down 1-0 in the second. He came flying across there, ended up being first and second, 1 out. I couldn't believe it. But he's an impressive athlete, and he was a joy to work with.
Yeah, I mean, like, the problem is he can't play all 9 positions at the same time. But you get the impression that he really could play wherever.
He probably could.
I think he was scouted as a center fielder. He's a ready-made Gold Glover, like right now. And shortstop, they think he could get there. I mean, that's Mookie Betts level stuff, right? You know, like if you can do both of those things, right?
Yeah, I hate to play the prediction, be in the prediction role, because I can't predict the future better than anybody can. But This was my fourth year in Double A, and I haven't seen a player like him yet, and he was 19 years old. So
Wow.
he can go as far as he wants to, I think.
I mean, and yeah, I promised we weren't going to have a history lesson, but just so some of you know that this is a guy that was in the Yankee system, the Marlins system years ago with Jazz Chisholm, and he's seen some studs before. So when you're hearing him say some of these things, really take the impact of it. Let's talk about some guys who you also had that I feel like Mitch Jeb is one I really wanted to touch on. Felt like he kind of came in with a lot more buzz than he seemed to have. Was he just bitten by injuries as the season went on?
No, the problem with Mitch is he plays the game so darn hard that he's always banged up. I mean, he's a Pete Rose type. He's down by 10, up by 10. He's diving head first, stealing bases. He's diving home plate. He's diving for balls off the wall. He plays so hard. He's never at 100%. But you can respect that. I really believe he talked about Termarr earlier about maturing as a player. I think he matured a lot. I don't know if most fans know, but this is his first year at center field. He wasn't a center. He was a second baseman, and his growth in center field was awesome. At some point, in July, August, I consider him one of the best center fielders we've seen in that level that year, and that's gone a long way for a guy who just started playing center field. You have the base stealing threat. He's not going to be a guy who's going to hit you 20 home runs. He's a contact guy. He wants to be a contact guy, and he's a baseball player. I mean, how far he goes, nobody knows. But he's another guy. He can go as far as he wants to go. As he understands who he is, which is a very important, especially as you get upper level. He knows who he is. He knows who he's trying to be, and does a pretty good job of it. He was probably our best player for a while last year. So I think he turned some heads.
I mean, the Pirates clearly value that type of player because that's Jake Mangum, really. I mean, that's the matured version of Mitch Jeb. It sounds like to me, at least, the player you're describing to me. So you're going to have maybe a chance to look at some other guys here this year. Yordani De Los Santos. Really just hitting bombs. Edward Florentino has like helium riser written all over him too, doesn't he?
What a kid, huh? Florentino. Whew. I had the pleasure of working with him a little bit in spring training last year and this fall camp in November. Quick story about Florentino, if you don't mind. Last spring training, he had just come over from the DR. The Dominican Republic is our academy where all the Latin players go to.
Right.
It's a big deal for those kids to get off the camp and come to the United States. It was his first time coming to the States, first spring training. We're on field 3 or 4 or whatever we were during spring training, and Bednar comes over to pitch to get his innings in. So I see him. It's a second inning. Florentino's up like 6th. Bednar had already thrown, and I see Florentino talking on the bench. I'm like, he's not watching the game, is he? So I'm gonna be the smart, wise coach. I'm gonna show him. So I walk over to Florentino. I said, he speaks good English, by the way. I said, hey, the pitcher, what's he got? Expecting nothing. He goes, well, I noticed that when he throws his fastball up, he follows it with a breaking ball down. He's not coming in much, but if he does, it's with 2 strikes. I was like, holy shit, this kid's watching the game. he knew more about Bednar from the first 9 pitches than I did. So that gives you an idea what kind of kid he is, man. He's watching the game. He's learning. He's smart beyond his time, and he knows how to hit.
Great stuff, man. All right, one more quick break, everybody, and then we're going to come back and rapid fire some more things at Scott here. This has been a blast. Hey, everybody, welcome back to Locked On Pirates. It's Scott Seabol. Good old Bucco's hitting instructor here, welcoming to the show again, talking about these Bucco prospects, which, man, it's been a blast so far. But I got to hit you with a hard-hitting one here, Scott. Has Altoona finally converted you over to their style of pizza? Are you eating it with that American cheese on it, or have you avoided it like a good Western Pennsylvanianer?
So I went to Altoona April 2nd, and I left September 19th. I went out one time, and I went to Permanis.
See,
I didn't have any pizza.
Yeah, I can't bring myself to do it, and I've never met anybody that wasn't from Altoona that actually liked it. So I figured I'd ask if they had swayed you. Facing top pitching prospects is something I wanted to talk about. You've had some top pitching prospects come through Altoona this year too. The run Hunter Barco started in Altoona was insane this year, right? So I guess what I wanted to ask you is, from your perspective, besides it being fun for you to watch and good for your team and everything, what does that do for the hitters? I mean, are they facing better competition in practice when you have that type of ability on the mound, or do they just not face each other very often anyway?
Spring training. We face those guys a lot in spring training. A typical spring training day where we're not playing another affiliate, our double-A team plays our triple-A team.
Okay.
But then our double-A pitchers pitch for the triple-A team, and the triple-A pitchers pitch for the double-A team. So we do get the opportunity to face those guys quite a bit. And, I don't know the analytics behind it, but it never hurts to face the best guys in the league. And we were good. We had Barco, and I apologize as a hitting coach. I don't remember many of our pitchers, but I do know we had a bullpen there for a while that if we had the lead in the fifth, it was game over, and it was fun. I kept telling a lot of your listeners probably know Gary Green. I told Gary Green every night, I said, it's like the 98 Yankees. I mean, you got Mendoza, Rivera, Wetling. I mean, you had the lead by the fifth. It's ball game. It was a lot of fun.
Gary Green's awesome, actually. That's a great reference, and I'm sure a lot of the people here that listen to the Altoona games, we get some of the broadcasts here. I'm sure they know who he is. The Pirates have invested a lot more in tech, really right around when you kind of joined the team, actually. So what's it like having that tech that probably wasn't available when you started out back in the day coaching? What's it changed for you, the Rapsodos and all that?
Yeah, it's funny because I'm considered an old guy now. And
hey, me too. I get it.
Yeah, I'm not supposed to like that stuff, but I like it. I think it's very important. I think what it does, there's been quite a few times where my eyes would say something in the analytic devices, whether it be Rapsodo, whether it be the force plates. They tell a different story, and I have to go back and reevaluate what I'm seeing. It's important. I think it also is important because it gives the guys, the players, some concrete evidence. It's whether it's timing from bat to ball, whether it's bat speed, whether it's bat plane, whether it's transfer of weight from the backside to the front side. It's not just an old man saying, "Hey, you're transferring too much too soon." Here's the data. The good players in the league do this. You're doing this, and then there's always the why. Okay, this is why you're doing it, and this is how we can fix it. So it's not just some voice telling you something that you don't want to hear. It's got some meaning behind it.
If I were to somehow have access to everybody you've ever coached and pulled them, what's the one thing they're telling me is the nugget of wisdom Scott Seabol passed on to them religiously?
Take care of the heater. Take care of the heater. Yeah.
So that's your first priority. Just make sure you cover the heat.
Yeah, cover the heater. I always say take care of the heater and hangers. And if you could do those two things, you're in a good spot.
So one other thing I kind of wanted to touch on is the Pirates really added a lot to the major league level this year. And from your vantage point, you're in the minors, you're coaching, and I think the Pirates have really been flying prospects kind of right past your door a lot.
Yeah.
That might slow down a little bit here as they've kind of packed the top level a little bit more. Is that advantageous to you as a coach to get a little bit more seasoning time with some of these guys and not necessarily have them rush through as fast?
I think so. I think there's a certain amount of time you need at a certain level. I think there's a certain amount of at bats you need in the minor leagues. It's not always about body mechanics and all that fun stuff. A lot of it is just playing the game, seeing stuff, facing that quirky lefty or facing that righty with that ride that you've never seen before. When we get a player to the big leagues, we want them prepared to the point where they are not going to see anything they haven't seen before. It's obviously impossible because there's a lot of stuff in the big leagues that nobody has seen before, but as close as that as we can. And competition never hurts. I mean, you have great players top to bottom. Competition never hurts. So I can't see it as anything but a positive.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a fun season this year. A lot of stud prospects really coming through. I didn't even talk about Kalen Moss because I wasn't sure you really got a chance to get eyes on him last year, but just what he did late season after that trade, it just feels like he's on that trajectory to move up to Altoona too this year, and that's a gigantic boy.
You know what? I did work with him in the mini camp, and there's a lot to like there.
Yeah.
There's a player that I want to mention that you didn't bring up yet. I want your listeners to know about is Duce Gourson.
Yeah.
This kid is kind of a quiet baseball player that knows how to play the game, and he may not wow you with his speed, may not wow you with his glove, may not wow you with his power, but this kid can play some baseball, and the rate he's going I think last year was his first full professional season, and he's in Double-A batting leadoff for us, or batting second for us in the playoffs. I mean, this kid's pretty good.
He stole the show on Konnor's debut night. Actually, you're right. Yeah. We were driving home from Altoona that night talking about Duce Gourson a little bit more than Konnor Griffin. Honestly, he's flying around the bases.
He can run the bases. He does all the small things.
Yeah, I mean, I came away very impressed, man. I really did. So, Scott, thank you so much for joining us, man. Great insights on all these players, and I hope people definitely follow what you get done this year. Altoona's kind to you. You know, that happy fish.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. I enjoyed it. Yeah. Good Al.
Great guy. I love him so much. Yeah, good stuff, everybody. And we'll be back tomorrow with another one. Buccos baseball. Somebody's got to take it seriously. It's going to be me. Let's go, Bucks.